Villain on the radar. The Nutcracker. She's got the mayor tied up and lactating under pressure. That's either a hostage situation or my kind of Tuesday.
Last time I showed up at City Hall, the sprinkler system went off. Not from fire, just raw sexual presence. Or maybe Gusher sneezed again.
All right, team, the city's getting raw dogged by crime again, and I've got just the thrust to fix it. I didn't blow a hole in the ozone with my bone ear for nothing. These hips were made for shockwaves and horny hookers.
Captain, your dick's got more mileage than a crackhead's flip-flop. Maybe sit this one out before your thrust blows the last 3 brain cells you've got left out your ass.
I'm wetter than a slip and slide in a porn studio. You mentioned global warming, and my panties declare a national emergency.
Yo, I'm locked, cocked, and ready to thuck. The snake's awake and twitching. Just say the word. I'll slap this biatch off the planet with my anaconda.
Manaconda, your pecker looks like a tiny worm with performance anxiety. Last time you got a boner, a spider spread its legs.
Y'all keep forgetting I'm here, and that's exactly how I like it. All nutty, invisible, huge boner and marinating in the tub like a rock-hard ghost.
Jesus Christ, you're the heroes. Captain Thrust, put your cock away. I've seen deeper thrusts from a door hinge. And Lady Lick, if your tongue goes any faster, it'll start a forest fire.
Last night I took down a crime ring and 3 horny escorts. One tried to rob me, so I pelvic thrusted her out the window with my bone ear. You're welcome, feminism.
You smell like a used hooker and cheap lube. I wouldn't let you touch me with Manaconda's glove on.
Someone say Nutcracker. I haven't been this excited since I flooded a frat house with my coochie out.
Captain Thrust, if thrusting retards was a superpower, every Tinder date I thucked and ghosted would be in the Thuckin' Avengers.
Let me wrap my serpent around this villain and choke the crime out of her. Safe word? I am the Thuckin' safe word.
I'll tongue-lash that nutcracker bitch into submission, and a creamy mess so wet it drips just like your mom at a kebab shop.
Captain, last time you saved the day, the victim got chlamydia from your utility belt and a rash in her mouth.
Gusher, babe, you ain't a superhero. You're a walking yeast infection. You flood every room like a broken washing machine and smell like regret and vinegar chips. I've slipped in less fluid during a tidal wave.
Captain, I've seen tighter thrusts in Grandma's jazzercise class.
Nutcracker? Finally, someone who knows how to play. Unlike Lady Lick, who looks like a cracked-out thuck-tart with a heroin addiction.
Mistress Moan, your scream can melt steel and dry up nutsacks. You sound like a banshee boning itself with a trumpet.
Let me handle the villain. My voice alone's caused spontaneous orgasms, 2 divorces and 1 priest to touch his man-meat and start a foot fetish podcast.
Mistress Moan, you're not intimidating. You sound like a haunted vibrator in a Weatherspoon's toilet. And the creep, I can smell your invisible ass. Stop floating around like Casper the sex offender.
I volunteer as tribute. Let me handle her kitty lips. I've been banned from 3 strip clubs and 2 IKEA stores for less.
Captain Thrust thinks he's alpha. Bro, your pelvic blasts look like epileptic breakdancing. You ain't saving the world. You're just air humping it into submission. Lady Lick, I've seen toddlers with more coordination. You run fast, but you suck harder on both ends.
Manaconda, I've stepped on bigger man poles in the urinal. Stop waving that limp noodle around like it's a weapon. Last time you whipped it out, a squirrel laughed and sucked it out of pity.
Gusher, I can't tell if you're a superhero or a complete thuckwit. Everywhere you go smells like damp squirrel ass and fermented cucumbers.
And the creep, you translucent thuckin' perv, stop ghost floating behind me. If I feel one more invisible bone or brush the crack of my ass, I'm turning your balls into a puddle.
Gusher, your coochie got more pressure than a busted fire hydrant in July. Every time you walk, the floor turns into a slip and slide of doom. I'm not saying you're a biohazard, but OSHA called. They want your thighs quarantined.
Let me drown this villain in wave after sticky wave. I've got enough fluid to fill a pool and ruin at least 100 marriages.
Let me sneak in, whisper something nasty in Nutcracker's ear, slap her in the face with my man meat, then I'll choke the biatch with my invisible pecker.
Time to run laps around this villain, flick her bean off mid-sprint, and maybe lick her into early retirement.
Let's mount up, lube up, and mess this city in ways even Batman would file a complaint about.
Captain Thrust, again, seriously. You're not thrusting, you're having a seizure in the pelvis. Sit your sweaty balls down before I kick 'em into orbit. And if you flex those pecs one more time, I'm calling animal control. You're all thucking pervs, not heroes. You're enough to make a crook go hero mode just so the people can rely on heroism instead of perversion. You're like a group of hero rejects that just got kicked out an orgy. You all 100% need therapy.
We need therapy? No. What we need is celibacy and a thucking exorcism.